welcome to a live Shaw Sports presentation.
Hello again, everybody. Roturo alongside Jesse Honkanen for Game 2 of our doubleheader between the New Zealand men's national fastball team, the Black Sox, against the Sooke Loggers. Jesse, it was a defensive masterclass in the last game, 3-2 in extra innings. Required some big bats at the very end. Do these teams have anything left in the tank for Game 2?
I think the good thing about international ball and top club level ball is they've got good pitching staff. So I think we're going to see Tyson Barkman toe up for the Loggers. He's been a national team member of the pool for a few years. And on the Black sides, they got two pitchers who haven't pitched yet. Josh Pettit could see the ball for the Black Sox, but I think we'll have another close battle here today.
I think it goes without saying that a 3-2 result for a club side against an international side, that's a fantastic result, Jesse. Could we see another close match this time around?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, Life took them 0-0 in the eighth. Probably New Zealand top 2 in the world. I think we could see some more hits now the players have loosened up a little bit. But my money is on Sooke to take the second game here.
We'll have to wait and see. Sooke and the Kiwis coming up next on Shaw TV Sports. And we're getting ready to start Game 2 of our doubleheader. Sooke Loggers against the New Zealand men's national team, the Black Sox. It will be Black Sox to hit to start things off. Loggers will be fielding. And to pitch for this game, as predicted last match by my color commentator Jesse Honkanen, Tyson Barkman takes to the mound. So what does Barkman bring to the pitcher's circle, Jesse?
Yeah, very different look than Scott Life. Scott primarily throws the rise ball, where Tyson relies on the drop ball more times than not.
And he opens up with a big strike.
And again, that's that drop ball, just pushes it hard. The drop ball typically is a faster pitch than the rise ball and doesn't get in trouble as much. Look to see lots of ground balls today from the Loggers.
Joel Evans, the leadoff hitter. Kiwis, and he's down 0-2 in the count. Barkman throwing heat early.
Come on, Barks, attaboy.
Barkman pretty happy with himself. Throw 2 strikes with your first 2 pitches, so you're probably allowed to smile a little bit. And Evans will get under that. Deep right field, easy as you like. Grabbed there by Ben Edgingston. 1 away. Edgingston, who was on in relief in the first game of the doubleheader, now starts in the outfield for the Loggers.
Yeah, good stop for Barkman there. Working the drop ball hard. That's what you'll see for most of the day from Tyson. A good hard drop ball, mixing in a rise ball.
And here we see it again.
Yeah, Edgerton made that play. Got a little mixed, little turned around there, but was able to recover and make the play.
A foul ball there from the second hitter for the Kiwis, Nathan Nukunuku. We know all about him. If you watched our first game, he had a pretty epic duel going on with Life, the pitcher. But this time he's going up against Barkman. And Nukunuku behind 0-1 in the count early off that foul.
Yeah, Nukunuku again, one of the top players in the world. Been on the international scene for quite some time. He shows bunt. Interesting, just trying to get on base, Nukunuku, knowing that runs may be at a premium today.
Took us to extra innings last game. You were watching it. It was a classic, ended 3-2 in extra innings in favor of the Black Sox.
Yeah, good showing in Game 1 from the Loggers. Playing international team, one of the top teams in the world, and they were able to hold them to...
Solid hit to left field, but right underneath is Trevor Geekus, I'm sorry. Draws into the starting lineup after being on the bench for the first game out in left field.
Yeah, another local, I mean, all these players are Vancouver Island based except for the pitcher Tyson Barkman. Trevor is actually from Duncan and he's been playing quite a while. He makes a nice play here in left field. Sometimes you can say the balls that are hit right at you are hardest plays. You're not sure how to judge them.
He does have the luxury of not having the sun anywhere near his eyes. Always good. And now Barkman facing off against Thomas Inoka, one of the 3 Inoka brothers playing for New Zealand. Ben Inoka, however, not starting on the field for the Black Sox in this game. Campbell Inoka, the youngest, is indeed in the outfield, or he will be, once the Black Sox take to the field.
Come on.
Right now it's Thomas. Swing and a miss, strike.
Yeah, you watch Tyson pitch. You've seen before the 3 pitchers that pitch earlier. They take a good hop when they throw the ball. You can see Tyson is more of a push and drag type pitcher. more traditional style. Uses a lot more arm than his hips.
Used quite a bit of arm that time. That one ends up going high up and over. Cowick not able to hold on to that. It's all right, though, because there's nobody on base.
You're not as fast. How many did I catch? 3 in a row. I wouldn't let other guys catch it. I told him.
Barkham looking to get out of the first inning unscathed.
Oh, yeah.
Hard mowing inside for a ball.
There's Tyson again working that drop ball. Drop balls, typically, best drop balls are in the zone to make the batter swing and miss.
That time Anoka not fooled. Let's see what he can do against Barkman here. This time he swings but fouls back. Stays alive. Just 2 fairly quick outs for the Loggers to start this first inning. Game 2 of the doubleheader between the Black Sox and the Loggers. Swing and a miss. And that's the 3rd out. Barkman does well to retire the side. Gets some help from his defense. Does it himself for the 3rd and final out. And we head to the bottom of the 1st. All even. As we can see here, it was a promising start. Joel Evans unfortunately not able to get past the fielding there. Ben Edgington with his fly ball. Easy peasy. Had some power behind it, not the accuracy. Routine defense here for the Loggers. Gigas in the other field. And finally the strikeout. Barkman getting it done himself. As we get ready for the bottom of the 1st inning, the starting pitcher for the Black Sox, Josh Pettit, number 5 on the mound for the Kiwis.
Yeah, I think we'll see the Black Sox mix in the last 2 pitchers we haven't seen. Josh would be the first one. First time on the national team for Josh. And I think, again, all 3 pitches throws him very well. He wouldn't be on this team if he wasn't an excellent pitcher.
Excellent. Well, joining us in the broadcast booth right now, Doug Roberts, local fastball historian. Welcome to the booth, Doug. Nice to see you.
Awesome crowd again, not as big as last night, but can't complain. It's fantastic to see New Zealand playing over here, and I don't think they've been here since they've been to Victoria many years ago, and it shows the people out here how much they appreciate what they're seeing.
Jesse mentioned in the first game that there's a large fastball history here in Cedar on the island, and we're seeing that here with such a great crowd out to see this exhibition game.
Yeah, absolutely. That's, they say they build it, they will come kind of thing.
As Pettit here faces off against the leadoff hitter for the Loggers, Chris Walushka.
Yeah, Chris has just made the Canadian national team after being in Argentina with them in the Pan American Games, and quality player in person, and it's worked hard, and it's obvious John Stewart has seen that and decided to add him to the squad. And John used to play on my fastball team back in Vancouver called the Vancouver Thunderbirds, and he came out of the Squamish area and said, "Hey, can I try out for your team?" And I said, "Try out." I go, "You're on the team, Stewie." And then he climbed the ladder. Next thing you know, he's coaching Canada, and he's got 2 gold medals under his belt.
There you go.
So, Doug, we get the big tournament coming up in a couple weeks, the Vancouver Challenge. Maybe tell me a little bit about what you're expecting to see there.
Well, it's going to be the best fast pitch in Vancouver in numerous years. It's the first time Canada's come back men's to play at the Hill in 30 years. The last time was June of '87 when Canada was out there playing, and you got the U.S. national team there with Denny Bruckert coaching, and New Zealand team here with Mark Sorensen, the best batter of his day, and Czechoslovakia, Great Britain, Fleetwood Marlins. You got the Abbotsford Builder, Sooke Loggers, of course, minus Blake Hunter and Chris Walushka, but they still got Scott Life, which was the last cut out of Canada, and so he'll give them a good boost. But it's a softball nut's dream to be going to Vancouver, and just like it is to be here today.
Todd Belton currently batting second for the Loggers. Faced a high ball one with the first pitch for Pettit. Takes a swing at the second, tips back for foul. Running on that was Walushka. He'll just be sent back to first.
Yeah, as we mentioned in the earlier broadcast, Chris Walushka has a good set of wheels on him. Todd Belton's at the plate. A tough day in the first game, but I think he'll be anxious to get going. I had a chance to chat with him in between games, and really excited to get back out there and see some more pitching.
Yeah, Todd's definitely a quality player and comes to play hard every game, and it's a couple of years now I believe he's been with the Loggers, and seen him in Vancouver numerous times over the years, and always there, comes to play hard. And
that time caught looking. Heat thrown by Pettit. Belton has shown strike 3. Pettit has not shied away from throwing that high riser in there, Jesse.
Yeah, I think Pettit, again, had tough to bat there with Walushka. Chris will. Here comes the pitch. Again, a rise ball at the very top of the zone. We got the same umpire in the plate as last game, and he wasn't shy on calling the high strike. So the teams will be accustomed by that now.
Well, they should know they can't leave it, because he's going to ring them up if they leave it.
Blake Hunter now batting third. Checks his swing there. Still called strike. Hunter batting third after Belton. Hunter was part of that rally, the bottom of the 8th in the last game, to bring the Loggers to within 1 in extra innings. Now that he knows how to swing that bat, Jesse, he's no doubt itching to try and get one on the board in regulation.
Absolutely. New game here. I think Hunter will. I had a chance to chat with him as well. Cards in the hit, and he was talking about how he would have just liked to win the game. So at the end of the day, I think these guys want to be out here to win, especially Blake Hunter. He's going to see this team up in Whitehorse and at the challenge, as Doug was mentioning, in the next couple of weeks.
Pops that one up shallow. Underneath it, third baseman. That's the out.
Yeah, I sent a text to Team Canada coach John Stewart after Blake hit the 2-run bomb, and he sent one back nice. So he obviously likes to hear the results of his players doing good.
Coach is always watching.
Yeah, I also let him know how good of a game Scott Life pitched, and he says he's got it in him to beat anybody. So
now we saw that on full display. Went the complete game. Took extra innings to finally break him down.
Exactly.
Great pitcher.
And I mean, you got a guy starting at second, so he didn't earn getting there. So that's good 2 bases into the field there. So it's a lot easier to score from second with none out.
Strike right there on Kyle Cowick. Batting fourth. Pettit already starting to take an offensive approach here. Very aggressive approach to try and get out Cowick.
I think it'll be key for Pettit to get out of the first inning unscathed. Sets a tone for the rest of the game.
And there's the swing. Attempting the steal was Walushka, but it didn't matter in the end. Strike 3 called. And so the side is retired for the first. We finished the first inning tied at zeros. And we can see here there was, with the exception of Belton staring at strike 3, there was a definite impetus. You can see there Belton just being caught up by the outside of the strike zone there to swing and go for it. Unfortunately, not quite the contact they were looking for. And they will head to the second, knotted at 0. And as we get ready for the top of the second, heading up Cole Evans, facing off against Tyson Barkman.
3 players to make the New Zealand team at 17 years old. One being the head coach, Mark Sorensen, the other being Travis Wilson, who had a great career too in ISC ball and ISF ball.
Come on, Ty!
Gets him swinging.
So, Doug, the pitching coach for New Zealand is Jimmy Wana. Did you ever have a chance to see him pitch in his day?
Absolutely. Jimmy was MVP in 1989 with PennCorp, and he was one of the top pitchers in the world in the 90s and the late 80s. And I met him when he was 15 years old in Palmerston, North New Zealand on one of my trips there. And so we've been friends ever since then, and it's been 27 years since I've seen him, but we keep in contact through Facebook and stuff. But he was a good drop ball pitcher and easily one of the top pitchers in the world.
So see here, the first out of the game, ground ball directly to second. Easy peasy as Evan grounds it for the first out. This brings Carl Golan to the plate, was pitching in relief in the first game, now batting fifth.
And what did you think of Carl Golan in relief in the first game?
Well, I thought he did a great job. You know, it wasn't overpowering anybody, but he puts the ball in the right spot. And Carl was telling me he got a call from Mark Sorensen saying he wants me kind of thing, and he thought he meant he wanted some softball gear, but he wanted him to come and play on the team. And so, you know, Mark obviously knows his stuff, and Carl's a great batter. That's why, hey, you don't see too many pitchers batting nowadays, but he's been a good batter for a lot of years, and he last played in this area for Horse Lake Thunder with Darren Zach and the boys, the Ghost Keepers, and all the Prince George guys.
Stares at a strike coming down from Barkman.
Yeah, he picked up the win in relief in the game this morning, so it's good to see. It's been a while since Carl Golan played for the Black Sox. I think it's over 10 years.
Yeah, that's right. And Black Sox, there you go.
As Golan drives that one to left. That'll be a base hit. He will make the first base hit of the game. Top of the second, the Black Sox have a runner on.
He's always been a good hitter. And, you know, when you're a left-handed pitcher, too, that adds quite the element to a team. And so he's there for a reason.
And you really called that one there, Doug, that he was a good hitter, and we saw a perfect example of that. Base hit to the gap and left. Made it look easy. Up to the plate now. Isaac Fletcher batting sixth.
There's a funny story. Isaac's the son-in-law to Chubb Tangaroa, another good friend of mine, and
grounds that one out. This will be a double play. Yes, it will. And just like that, second is over. Clinical double play. As Fletcher grounds out to end the inning. Bottom of the second here in our second game of the doubleheader between the New Zealand Black Sox and the Sooke Loggers. We're joined now in the booth by former Canadian national team player Dan Whiteford. Dan, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Thank you very much for having me.
This is a fantastic day for ball here out at Wheatsheaf Field in Cedar. How are you enjoying the spectacle?
It's been fantastic. I got a chance to go out there and play a little bit yesterday and had some fun and see some old faces. A lot of these guys from the New Zealand roster I've played against for a bunch of years at the ISC level. So it was good seeing a bunch of old friends and some new younger guys coming up.
Scaber looks at ball one there. Second pitch, 1-1. Strike called from Pettit.
So Dan, this Sooke Loggers club are going to be headed to the Canadians later this year. You know, obviously we see what Scott Life can do in the circle. What do you think the keys to victory are if they have a chance at bringing home the national crown?
They're gonna. I mean, you got to definitely play sound defensively. You can't make mistakes. Those little balls that you need to get out have to be out. So you can't. At that level, especially with Newfoundland being so strong as they are and Ontario strong, and you can't make those little mistakes. Pitching's got to be on, obviously your hitting's got to be on, and you know, you got to try to win those little battles.
You saw that great defensive effort in the last game, Dan. All deadlock at 0 going into the extra innings. That's the kind of defensive acumen you need to try and bring home a crown.
That's right. Those guys, you know, some of those plays that were made were, you know, fantastic plays, and those are the ones you have to make. You get a guy on that's, you know, you maybe bobble a ball and get a guy on. All of a sudden now they're stealing or bunting. Now they're putting things in motion. Guys are moving where they don't need to be, and it makes it a little bit more confusing out there.
2-2 the count for Scaber against Pettit. And that's the third strike. Scaber again caught looking at that one as Pettit has done well to catch the area of the zone with his drop ball there, Jesse.
Yeah, Dan, we heard from Doug earlier about the tournament in a couple weeks happening, the challenge. Now we have the ISF World Championship in Whitehorse. We'll take a look at the replay here, but as we're looking at that, you know, what do you think Canada's chances are to repeat as champions, and who will be the top players to watch?
They're going to have a good club. I mean, they're returning their top two pitchers with Cleary and Devin McCullough. Mason's back. Those are all going to be big guys. Malali's back. I think it's going to hurt him a little bit. They're missing Hill. His wife is due right around the time of the ISFs, and he's a big bat for them. And also a guy that can eat up innings in the circle, too.
Chad Bryden currently at the plate for the Loggers, batting sixth in the order.
But you know, Canada's returning a lot of guys, which is good. They're going to have a consistency. They're missing a few guys, but they're going to they're definitely going to battle. Like I said, their 2 top pitchers are back, so they'll Argentina's going to be good. Venezuela's always good. They've got good pitching. Their hitting lacks a little bit, but Japan's always scrappy. It's going to be a fantastic tournament up there.
This time he gets a piece of it. It's going to go foul, and it will go over, narrowly missing the crowd gathered along the third base line.
And Dan, I know you've had a chance to play with both Blake Hunter and Chris Walushka, who are on the field today with Sooke Loggers, but they've also made the national team. What do you like about their game?
Both of them are gamers. Both of them have their heads in the game the whole time. They're scrappy. They're both reliable and consistent at the plate. They can play. The big thing for them with Canada is they can play multiple positions. You know, Chris can play in the infield. He can play in the outfield. Same with Blake. He can play in the infield. He can play in the outfield. He can squat a little bit behind the dish. So that's the big thing for them. Besides they can hit, they can also play multiple positions. They get plugged in here and there.
Do you have any good memories of playing against the Black Sox in your day, Dan?
Yeah, I've played against them. This will be the third time I've got the chance to play against them, and played against them 2 years ago when they came out in 2015 for the ISFs. Played them in the Challenge Cup, and actually played against Nick Hayes through that game, the one that started first game this morning.
That's right.
Yeah, no, you know what, they're mean, they're intimidating. I was happily privileged enough yesterday to be on the field for the Hawkeyes. It's the first time I've been on the field for it. And it was great. It was fun. I had a good time. My son was with me. He was a bat boy, so you know, I gave him a little talk to afterwards and said, you know, it's not something that happens to everyone, and it's a special thing, and it was a cool event.
It's wonderful. Ben Edgiston currently at the plate, number 15, batting 7th. One man on first, that being Bryden after the walk.
On out. Come on, Benny.
And it throws high and outside.
And Dan, you mentioned Nick Hayes. He pitched a couple years ago in Vancouver, and you saw him pitch this morning. Any changes in his game in the last couple years?
No, I think he's just maybe gotten you know, I want to say a little bit older. He's still in, I think, his mid-20s. But he's, you know, even that couple of years, he's been a bit more reliable and figured out to be, instead of just being a thrower, how to be a pitcher, work corners and work pitches and work spots.
And drop ball was the call there. Outmade at first. And while that does mean Bryden will advance, Edgiston is done. Runner at second now for the Loggers. Took them, I think, about 3 or 4 innings last game, Jesse, to get in this close to scoring position. So this is going to be a good start for them. Tipped back there.
And Jan, the batter up is Trevor Geikus, and I know you've known Trevor for some time, and you've kind of been a mentor to him. So maybe tell me a little about Trevor's game.
He's a scrappy player. He's the same type of kid that you know, he doesn't like giving up outs. He fights for everything he can get. You know, he hasn't played ball at this level for an extended period of time. So when you get thrown into the fire like this, especially against, you know, number 1, number 2 team in the world, it's a little intimidating. It can be a little bit, you can get in there a bit wide-eyed, but Geeks is fast, he's scrappy. He usually a right-handed hitter. He can hit from both sides. If he goes lefty, it's more of a slap bunt type of guy. And it's the same type of thing. You can put him in the outfield, you can plug him in the infield. Versatile player, likes to play a lot of positions. So, you know, and, you know, he's the type of guy you like to have on the team, and once I think he sees a few more bats, he's going to get used to the pace and used to the pitching. And
It's currently down in the count to Pettit, with a man on second, that being Bryden. And that will be it. Third out. Some of the highlights here, gentlemen. It's shaping up to be perhaps a little bit looser than we saw in the first game, which was absolutely airtight defensively for the most part. But we're seeing hints here that things could get a little bit looser. Duck from a wild pitch there. Eventually sent Bryden to base. Drop ball here from Edgiston. He turned into the out at first. And Geekus just could not connect there. Top of the third now, Loggers and Black Sox. The New Zealand men's national team facing off against the Sooke Loggers. country versus club, and the club has not looked out of place in this doubleheader, the second game of the doubleheader. Tyson Barkman on the mound right now for the Loggers, going up against Callan Campaign. It's a grounder to short, turned, one away.
Yeah, great play by Todd Belton there. I know Whitey's another guy you've had a chance to play a lot with. What do you like about Todd's game?
I like he's got a lot of range. You know, he gets to a lot of balls that, you know, go in holes, and even if he doesn't make it out, he keeps it on the infield, blocks it, keeps it down.
Take a look here, which is exactly what you're talking about here, guys. Great grab here by Belton.
Yeah, I mean, that's a ball that, you know, should be going in the 5-6 hole, and he gets a glove on it and makes a play at first.
Yeah, we saw the good defense from Todd on a couple occasions in the first game.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he plays in the right spots. He's got a lot of range. He's starting to get his bat going a little bit. He's starting to see the ball a lot better, but definitely his strong suit is his defense.
Tyron Bartorillo up now for the Kiwis. Batting 8th as we approach the bottom of the order.
So, Dan, you had a chance to watch the first game, and you saw Scott Life throwing. Today we got Tyson throwing. Maybe the two big differences between the pitchers. I know you've had a chance to catch for both of them.
Yeah, no, they both throw. Both of them have a lot of pace on their ball. Tyson's more of a drop ball pitcher. Scott's more of a rise ball pitcher.
Stay out of this.
Scotty's working on getting the changeup going. Tyson's got a decent changeup. You know, they've got both of them. Scotty obviously threw a gem. Threw a gem in the first game. Hot shot going in the dugout
Heads
there.
up. Collateral damage.
Scotty threw a gem in the first game there. You know, he had a rise ball working, hitting corners, hitting spots, mixing the odd drop ball, the odd changeup. Tyson's got to do the same thing except reversed. He's got to, you know, hit his spots.
You can see the ball hit here into the Loggers dugout, cleared the dugout, knocked over a few bats. Saw that in the first game as well.
All the work of that bat boy gone to waste. Just not able to find the corner there. Bartorillo stays alive.
Yeah, Tyson will mix in the rise ball, but he's definitely a drop ball pitcher. And if he can nibble those corners and keep that ball down, and he can be definitely very effective. He's got a lot of pace on the ball.
Grounds again. This time it gets by Belton, excuse me. They do manage to get it back to cut off the attempt at a double. Waluska there at second, but that is a base hit for Bartorillo.
We were talking earlier, Dan, about the pitching styles, where Tyson's more of a push and drag pitcher, and Scott is. Maybe talk about the two differences between the two of them.
Let's get a quick look here at Belton making a dive for this. Just not able to grab that one.
Yeah, there's the difference is accentuated with, especially with Tyson coming right after Scotty. You know, Tyson's definitely a push and drag guy, stays glued to the ground, pushes hard. He's got strong lower core. Whereas Scotty is, you know, he pushes and hops out and tries to get all the ground he can. And that, you know, that just shortens that distance up. Instead of 46 feet, you're throwing, you know, 75, 80 miles an hour from 38, 39 feet. You know, that ball gets on you awful quick.
And batting 9th, bottom of the order, the youngest of the three Anoka brothers, Campbell Anoka.
So, Dan, have you played against the two older Anokas before? Have you seen Campbell?
I haven't seen Campbell. This is my first time watching him. The apple doesn't far fall from the tree in that family. They're all three of them are fantastic ball players. Watching them yesterday and today. I've had a chance with Ben and Thomas playing against them and watching them for a bunch of years now. But this is my first glance at Campbell, and like I said, there's definitely a good pedigree in that family.
Bit of a tip there.
So, Dan, I didn't have a chance to catch the game Friday night, but I understand you guys were in the game to about the 4th, 5th inning, and then from there the Black Sox bats took over. But did you see who pitched for the Black Sox in that game?
Quick look here before you get to that, Dan. Real bang-bang play there right out of the mitt. Cowick. They get the out at first, but the runner advances to second.
For us, yeah, we actually held them pretty in check, actually pretty well for the first, I think it was 2-1 going into the 5th inning maybe. And then they started, you know, getting their bats to the balls, and we had a pitching staff that was fairly young, and, you know, mistakes get made. Mistakes with these guys, with the hitters these New Zealand national team is, your mistakes have to be off the plate. They can't be on the plate. And the balls that are left on the plate, these guys will smash, and they're you know, that's what they're there to do.
Speaking of smash, top of the order, Joel Evans.
Yeah, Joel's been around for a while. He's a good hitter.
2 away here for the Black Sox. Runner on second. So there is a danger here for the Loggers.
One thing you definitely have to watch as a catcher with New Zealand is they definitely like to try to pick signals coming home. So you have to, you know, be in contact with your pitcher at all times and change your signals up. And you watch them at second, they'll have their foot up or their head down, and they're picking spots and picking locations and trying to pick pitches. And they're out there to win, which is what they're supposed to be doing. So you have to, you know, do your job as a catcher as well and try to mix things up and make sure they can't relay that information to the batter.
Yeah, a little bit of gamesmanship there from New Zealand. You can
Yeah,
count
absolutely. They've done it for years.
High, thought about running, did Bartolillo, excuse me. Quick arm there from Cormac, made him think otherwise.
Come on, Barty.
This is a tough lineup to roll over on too.
Popped back by Evans. Stays alive with the foul. Bartolillo stays on second.
So I guess the New Zealand team were here earlier this week. They played a couple games in Vancouver. Dan, any feedback from any of your ex-teammates from those games?
I've heard a couple games. I think they played the Giants and the Lomas over in Vancouver. Yep. Tyson threw the game for the Lomas over there, and from what I understand, I think they end up taking the L in it. But it was a close game. Tyson pitched a strong game for him. So that's exactly what Sooke's looking for in this game today.
Yeah.
More heat being thrown by Barkman. Again, looking high, trying the rise ball.
So Dan, seeing the crowd out here must bring back memories for your days being at Royal Athletic Park.
Yeah, it definitely does. You know, back when I played with the Victoria Travelers, you'd roll into Royal Athletic for a double set, and you know, a Friday night game, you're looking at 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 people there. And the big thing about that is it's the same as the Wheatsheaf Park here. They're not just fans; they're all knowledgeable ball fans. They all know what they're talking about. They all know what they're watching. So you know, you're getting jeered when you need to be jeered, and you're getting cheered when you need to be cheered. So
does that raise the pressure, knowing that you have you're not going to fool anybody who's out there?
Yeah, I don't know if it necessarily raised the pressure, but it definitely made it entertaining out there, because you knew that people weren't just cheering for you because something went well. They'd cheer for you if they know it was a good play. Or
so Dan, in your years of fastball, who'd be the best pitcher you would have faced?
I unfortunately caught Darren on the Darren Zach in his last probably 3-4 years of when he was still good. I mean, he still threw bafflers every now and again, but probably definitely Adam Folkert. He's got the pace, he's got the movement. He can throw past anyone out here, or he can make you look silly with the changeup. So Adam's been probably a number one in the world for I don't know how many years running now as far as pitching goes, but he's definitely up there. Corey Grew is another one if you want to talk about a local guy. Campbell River guy, now lives down in Cobble Hill. When he retired in 2007, he was the top pitcher in the ASAs, he was the top pitcher at the ISCs, and he was the top pitcher in the Canadian Nationals 3 tournaments in a row.
The second time Barkman on the Mounders had a little chat with Cowick, his catcher, and a couple of the infielders. He's having trouble dealing with Evans. Evans is going after everything and always getting a piece of it.
I think a lot of that right there is because Bartolillo's on second, and they're starting to change up signals because they think they have him.
That's a wild pitch, and away goes Bartolillo.
Cowie doesn't miss many of those. I wonder if he got crossed up there.
Yeah, it looked like he may have been looking out and came in.
Yeah, I think so.
So thinking about the local fast.
Just gonna look at this here. This play ends up with runners on the corners, guys. As there we go, just off the bottom of the glove.
So speaking about the local fastball scene, Dan, gone are the days where we'd see, teams from Seattle and Terrace coming in, but looking forward to the Sooke Loggers. What do you expect to see from them this year?
I expect to see them being really competitive. I know they've added They have Scotty Life pitching for them. Obviously the rest of their tournaments. They're going to the Boys this summer. They're going to Canadian Nationals in Saskatoon this year. I expect them to be competitive. They got the bats for it. They got the mental mindset to not let little things worry them. They don't get panicked. I believe they've added Colin McKenzie, who used to be a Victoria kid, to their lineup for the Challenge Cup next weekend and for the Canadian Nationals. So I expect them to be competitive. That's for sure.
Nathan Nuku takes the first pitch thrown at him, and it allows Evans to steal second. First stolen base of the afternoon.
That's what New Zealand does. They definitely put guys in play, and they try to get people at the infield moving around and doing things you're not supposed to do.
Cowick could even make the throw here, as we see.
Looks like he came out a little too quick out of his crouch and couldn't get the throw off. Big pitch here for Barkman. Wants to go to the inning unscathed. Couple runs could cause trouble for Sooke. As we know, runs will be tough to come by.
Grounded through the gap. This should score Bartolillo. Evans rounds third. He'll get home. And it's a 2-run RBI for Nathan Nuku, who's had a fantastic doubleheader here. Had that great duel with Life in the first game, and now in the second drives in 2 runs with 2 out in the top of the third. Black Sox up 2-0.
Yeah, Nukes is your classic veteran. He's been around in the game a long time. He's the captain of the Black Sox. He's one of those guys that you can get ahead, you can get up, 0-1, 0-2 on, but he is a tough guy to finish off. He's a tough short.
You can see it here. He makes no mistake. Puts it right over Barkman. And from there, Evans gets on his horse, brings home 2.
He showed it last game, his ability with the bat, with that battle he had with Scotty.
Yeah, his 9-pitch at bat.
Yeah, and he was fouling everything off and, getting bats on balls. And, I think he ended up rolling over on a ground ball, but he definitely still puts the ball in play.
Thomas Inoka. There's a throw from Cowick. It's wild. Tried to catch the steal. And he stands up at third. Nuku steals 2 bases off the wild throw.
I think there's a little bit of miscommunication between the middle infielders there.
Seems like they're talking about it now.
Yeah, Chris and Todd are talking about who should have had the cover on that. Great throw by Cowie right over top of the bag.
Yeah, Nuku had a good jump.
He did.
On that, but unfortunately ball sailed in center field, and Nuku slid into third base.
And this is New Zealand.
Have a look at it here. This is here's the lack of coverage you're talking about. They both go in, and it's right between.
This is the game New Zealand plays. They put guys in motion and try to pressure the defense and try to get those little mistakes. And
there's the called strike from Barkman. Needed that.
You get a guy on first with 1 or 2 out. Now you got a guy on third with 1 or 2 out.
Dan, what's your prediction for the World Championships? Who do you think the top 3 teams will be there?
If the Aussies show up, they're missing a few of their younger guys. Oh,
that one's deep to left. Underneath it. No problem whatsoever. And that's the third out. Easily brought in by Trevor Geekus. And after conceding 2, the side is retired. Black Sox up 2-0 at the top of the third.
So Dan, as you're saying, Australia would be one of the top teams?
Australia's, if their pitching's around, they got Kirkpatrick and Folkard. They definitely got the presence on the mound to control games. They're missing a few of their bats, a couple of their veteran bats, but they can definitely make some noise. New Zealand, obviously, they've never been tops in the world in pitching, but they've usually been tops in the world with their bats, so they can keep any game interesting. Canada, of course. Then you're going to get the outliers like Venezuela and
Argentina.
Argentina's scrappy. They've got good pitching. If Godoy is going for them, then they're going to be right in the mix on things. Here
we see an example of those Kiwi bats you were talking about. The first shot to the gap there by Bartolillo, himself on base, and then it began heating up further. Off the wild pitch.
Japan's always a wild card too. You never know what they're going to get from them. They're always a scrappy team. They always put forth a solid effort. So it's going to be a great event. You're going to have 4 or 5, possibly 6 teams that are going to come out. Expect to be looking for medals.
I think our neighbors from the south, they've upped their game a little bit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They've improved. They got some. They've usually had the hitting. Their pitching's starting to come around a little bit more. They got Tony Mancha, who's been a stable there for a couple of years now. They've also got Manley, who is a New Zealand national but has U.S. citizenship, that's going to be pitching for them up in Whitehorse as well.
Speaking of pitching, we see that first rocket coming out from Josh Pettit as he faces off against, I believe
This is Darcy Walushka.
Yes, it is. Threw me for a minute there. I'm like, it can't be Chris Walushka already. No, it's Darcy. Bottom of the order here for the Loggers, the second Walushka.
So you really see the versatility in the Loggers lineup here today. Chris Walushka played in center field. Now he's playing at second base, and his brother's taken over for him in center field.
Yeah, they definitely got, the majority of their guys aren't just one position guys. It's tough to make up a team when you got 8 guys. You can only play one spot, so you have to have a little bit of versatility and guys that can plug in and be comfortable playing in the outfield, infield, and different spots throughout all the lineups. So it definitely helps on building your club that way.
And Dan, in your career, you played outfield, infield, caught.
Yeah.
What was there challenges that came along with moving around different positions?
There is. I mean, usually it's, if you're not rotating all that much. If you start in one spot in a game, usually you stayed there, but you have to be able to adapt to an infield, outfield. I started as an outfielder years back, and then had a cup of coffee with the national team as an infielder, and came from baseball as a catcher, so transitioned over to that as well.
We see here Darcy Walushka did manage to connect this, but a little fly ball right down the right field line, or the third base line, excuse me. Easily caught for the first out.
Here's his brother here.
Top of the order, Chris Walushka.
We've been talking about Walushka's speed, and we really like to see him get on base to see what he can do. But what does speed bring to the table in the game of fastball?
It brings a lot. It puts a lot of pressure on the defense. It's, not only, Wally's a deer, and not only does it, if he hits a single, does it put pressure on the pitcher to hit spots and the catcher to make a clean transition if he goes to 2, but if he hits a ground ball, it puts a lot of pressure on the infield to, like right here, to get that ball out because he's coming down the line.
He does manage to make him work for it, but fast arms from the Kiwis. The Black Sox get their second out, again from that third base side.
The New Zealand team's definitely sure-handed on the infield. Their shortstop, Cole Evans, is, I think, one of their most underrated, if not one of their top hitters.
Take another look here. One hopper off the ground, snaps it right out of midair. No mistake whatsoever there for Bartorillo.
So, Dan, in the first game, I think you played against Brad Rona quite a bit over the years.
Yeah.
You ever see him lay down 2 sack bunts in one game?
No, but that's what the mindset is with these guys and most national teams, right? You have to be, Brad's always been a power hitter. He's been an intimidating guy for a pitcher or a catcher. And he puts that little fear and makes things a little bit tighter because you can't miss your spots with him.
Todd Belton currently at the plate for the Loggers.
That's the thing with these national teams is you have to be willing to put your ego aside, and if a sack bunt's called for, you got to be able to get it down.
And that ends the inning. Another blistering low riser there from Pettit. And that ends the side. Top of the fourth between the Sooke Loggers and the New Zealand Black Sox. Portero and Jesse Honkinen in the booth. 2 excellent guests so far, Jesse. Doug Roberts, local historian, Dan Whiteford, national team player. You get the all-stars coming out to watch this kind of competition here in Cedar.
Yeah, well, good ball brings in good fans, and I think, Dan, been a long-time player, had a sniff with the Canadian national team a couple of years ago, and Doug I've known for many years. Knows more about softball and fastball than, he's forgot more about softball and fastball than I ever have known, so.
And to lead off this fourth inning, facing off against Dyson Barkman on the mound for the Loggers. At bat for New Zealand is Cole Evans, batting fourth. Grounds that one to third, 1 hopper, 1 away.
Yeah, Chad Bryden with a nice play there. Then sends her over to Blake Hunter. And you saw Hunter play left field last game, and he's at first base today.
This really gets back to what you and Dan were talking about, having not just 8 players in one position. Having that plug-and-play roster where everyone is equally proficient is such a huge advantage.
Absolutely.
Great throw there, one away. That brings up Carl Golan. He can pitch, he can hit. We saw evidence of that last time. He looks at strike one.
Yeah, Tyson's working that hard drop ball. It's a tough pitch. I mean, when a drop ball pitcher, it's easy to keep the ball in the park, as you saw last time with Scott. Pitched a great game, but had a couple of rise balls that just got away from him and ended up over the fence.
Come on, Barty. Come on, Barty.
Brief pause here, they'll reset. That one, speaking of rise balls getting away from you, ball one.
Yeah, Sooke Loggers, again, finish up the doubleheader, and then they're going to Wisconsin later in the summer to play the Boys of Summer tournament. I think Dan was mentioning before.
He did mention that, yes.
Some of the top teams in the world will come into that tournament. Then they're off to Saskatoon for the Nationals. I think the Sooke boys here will have a good run. You know, Saskatchewan will have a good team, Ontario, Newfoundland. But the Sooke boys will be right in there.
Golfed up, shallow to second, 2 away. No problem there for Chris Walushka. Two up, 2 down. That will bring up Isaac Fletcher for the Black Sox. They look here at that second out. Just chipped up, nothing much to it.
Yeah, we're getting to see a good balance of the Black Sox lineup in the 2 games today. Fletcher would have spent the first game sitting on the bench, but he's in this game here today.
Two out, top of the 4th. Fletcher up against Barkman. That will be golfed up to short. Belton makes the out.
Yeah, tough hop there for Todd, but he played it nicely. He was able to make the play.
That's perhaps the most prototypical example of Logger defense. We were talking about it earlier, Jesse. That was 3 solid outs from a solid defensive unit.
Absolutely. I think Todd was able to take that on an in-between bounce and throw the ball over to Hunter to complete the play.
3 up, 3 down. Loggers move to the bottom of the 4th, down by 2, looking to close that gap. Bottom of the 4th, Hunter to lead things off for the Loggers. Blake Hunter, 3rd in the order.
Yeah, Josh Pettit's still in the game for the Black Sox. It'll be interesting to see if they try to mix in their last pitcher here for the series. He's thrown a very good game through 3 innings. But he's coming through the meat of the order now for the Loggers.
Foul that one away. Sun's still hanging high in the sky there over left field. But it's an absolutely gorgeous day here in Cedar. If you're not here watching this, I pity you. You are not going to find much better fastball this time of year than right here, right now. Sooke Loggers and the New Zealand men's national team.
Yeah, Wheatsheaf Sports Complex is one of the nicer complexes on the island and the province. As I said earlier, the big supporter of softball and in the Softball BC Hall of Fame for a sponsor category. They actually run a tournament here every year for the founders, Art Marion Hutt Memorial Tournament.
It's always good to see solid community partnerships like that. Help to grow a sport, really keep that grassroots strong.
Absolutely. It's good to see a lot of young kids around the park today.
I've seen quite a few kids in their own uniforms with their mitts and cleats on. It's clearly a community gathering. It's always good to see. Hunter now gets under this one, drives it up the line. It does not stay fair, though.
Yeah, the Cedar community has really come together for this event. You know, with Blake Hunter being from Cedar, you know, a lot of people here I've seen. I haven't seen out at the ballpark for a few years, but good to see the local fast pitch community and the community of Cedar come together to host an event like this.
Inside, ball called.
I know the host committee has got a dinner lined up tonight for the New Zealand team, so good to see them hosting the club before they head down to Victoria to play Loggers in a double set tomorrow.
Excellent hospitality. Swinging there, went for a chase there, did Hunter. Going after that off speed. Hunter's still alive, though. No outs here, bottom of the 4th. Hunter leading things off. And this one goes sailing by him, strikeout. Pettit's done well so far through 4 innings. Haven't seen a lot of weaknesses in his game so far.
Yeah, good rise ball there, retired Hunter. It's one thing about that rise ball is if you can get it going. Here you see it on the replay. Rise ball, Blake just can't quite hold off on it. Pitch on his own.
Masterful there by Pettit.
Yeah, just nibbling on again on that outside corner. Same home plate umpire in the first game again. Pretty consistent on that outside corner.
Kyle Cowick now up for the Loggers. Checks his swing, doesn't matter, called strike. So last game we saw the starting pitcher take a seat after 4 innings. Do you think this is Pettit's last outing here, Jesse, or does he go for 5, 6, 7?
You know, you could look to stretch him out for the whole game because when you get to the World Championships, they will be looking to pitch. But as you can see here, the swing, good swing by Cal. He just missed, looking to connect with the long ball.
Sends his glasses flying, no big deal, no damage. That time he does connect, but it's fouled away. He's looking yard, I think. He wants this thing gone.
Absolutely. Getting back to the conversation about Pettit, I think you could see him go the whole game here. Maybe we'll stretch him out. But if not, we'll see the last pitcher for the New Zealand team that we haven't seen yet today. And it should be good. A couple of other guys on the New Zealand team pitch a little bit as well. But mainly it's just the 4 that we've already seen on the tour.
Another foul there by Cowick. Keeps himself alive. Pettit looks to land his second strikeout of the inning. Popped up, high, shallow. Underneath it. For the out, no problem for Cole Evans at second base.
A nice play there by Cole Evans. Ball's kind of hit in no man's land between, as you can see here, hit in no man's land, but Cole Evans, no problem getting back and making the play. I think Dan mentioned earlier, probably one of the more underrated players on the New Zealand Black Sox team.
Came all the way over from short to cover at second base on that one. Good communication there to keep the 4-player pileup from happening right behind the bag. 2 away for the Loggers. This brings Tim Scaber up to the deck, or up to the plate, I should say. Strike called.
Tim a little anxious in there, swinging the bat. Always been a very good hitter, but not afraid to swing the bat, that's for sure.
He does swing there, but there's no ball to hit. Strike 3. Pettit pitches his way through the 4th. And here's what the bottom of the 4th looked like, Jesse.
Yeah, good start here from Pettit. And Hunter just misses the rise ball. And then Callie Kemp, the plate, same sort of thing, but just popped up there. Nice play by Cole Evans to close the gap. And then Tim Scaber ends the swinging strike 3.
Tyson Barkman, who was playing infield last game in the first part of our doubleheader coverage. In this second game, he is pitching, and he leads off the inning. It would have been a stinging, it is indeed called fair. Stinging ground drive to left field, and it'll be a double.
Just a little bit too hot for Bryden to handle. That ball's hit right on the screws.
Great hit by Callan Campaign. And there it is, grabs a hold of it, rips it down the line, stays fair. Good hustle there to try and stop it from being any worse than a double, but that's still a great start to the inning for the Black Sox. Popped up, foul.
Yeah, we see down the right field line, Campbell Gibson, who's the 4th pitcher for New Zealand, seeing the series. He's warming up, so it could spell the end for our pitcher and get Campbell to be in there.
Pettis put in a good four innings work, though. think anybody would fault him for the shift he's put in.
I think the Loggers will be happy to see a new pitcher. Haven't had much luck against him.
That is for sure. Bartarillo here. Not having much luck against Barkman.
You can see he's doing a form of a slap bunt, taking a run at it, just trying to look to move that runner over to third base.
Tyron Bartarillo.
Come on, Barty!
As Campaign waits at second.
Beat, no.
Low, and that moves the ball.
Not Tyson. Oh, no.
Tyson trying to work himself out of a jam here to start the inning.
When he's sent up, it is foul. Just crosses the line. There was some question. Ultimately, drifts over the line, falls.
Yeah, a little, from our vantage view, a little sand on the field there that popped up that could have been lime, but looked to be a good call from the umpire there, foul ball.
Barkman will take it. And he gets another crack at Bartarillo. Campbell Anoka on deck for the bottom of the order. Tips that one back again. So Bartarillo keeps himself alive, not letting much go, getting a piece of everything Barkman throws at him.
He's working hard this inning. Another one of those clutch at bats here from Bartarillo. Simply looking to move that runner to third base.
Come on, Tice. Good battle to win, buddy. Come on, man.
Lots of encouragement coming from the dugout. Pops up. He'll get there. He'll get the out at first. Just barely. Grabs that throw out of the dirt for the second out, or the first out, excuse me. But that does mean that Campaign advances to third on the sack play.
Yeah, taking a look here, get a chance to see a replay. He actually made the play with his bare hand. So it just shows the skill that Chris Walushka has. Again, Team Canada member.
And here we go.
That's a tough play to make. So pitcher makes the play, throws it over, and Walushka makes the play with his bare hand.
Not the best throw from Barkman as it's down, but yeah, there's the barehanded grab out of the dirt. Great play at second, though, in the gap. Gets the second out.
Another great play by Walushka there. Looks the runner back at third for the second out.
Clutch out, too. That gets by, and it's 3-0 for the Kiwis.
We said at the start of the broadcast we'd see a lot of ground balls from Barkman, and as you can see, there's another one. And the solid Logger defense makes the play.
Barkman now going up against Joel Evans, top of the order. Campbell Anoka was the one grounding out in the last play.
So they'll bring in the replacement runner, and he get an effort to speed up the game. Lets the catcher get his gear on.
Taking his place, number 25, 20, Thomas Anoka. Nope, that was Campbell. Grounds out, gets to run anyway.
Tough to get all those Anokas figured out. There's too many of them.
Well, I will say, when you have 3 Anokas in your outfield, you just say Anoka's got it, and you're probably safe.
Yeah. All 3 of them are top quality defenders as well.
Yeah, they've shown as much so far through 2 games. It's top of the 5th with the runner on third. It's the younger Anoka, Campbell. And he might get to run more as this goes back underneath it. For the out is Trevor Gekas.
Yeah, Trevor Gekas make the nice play there.
Gets that clutch out to end the inning, or else that was going to be the 3rd run coming in. And here's how close it was.
Yeah, started the inning with that ball just off Bryden's glove. Good set to the inning for the Kiwis, but couldn't capitalize as we see the play. And you can see that. Well, he's thinking to himself, wow, I just about had that. And then we see the first of two great plays by the Loggers. Walushka picks the ball up with his bare hand. You'll see it again. Tyson Barkman fields well his position. And that's not an easy play with the runner running through there.
Mm-hmm. And then, once again, Walushka, this time diving across the gap. Looks like Belton on the left side of the infield. It's been Walushka on the right, doing well for the Loggers.
Absolutely. And then Geikus makes the play there to end the inning.
Leading off in the 5th for the Loggers. Stares at ball 1. Chad Bryden. Had his moments today. I'm sure he'd love to have an even bigger one now.
Absolutely.
Run here, bottom of the 5th. Try and get the Sooke a little bit closer to evening this up before we hit bottom of the 7th.
Yeah, Loggers have always been known as a good hitting club, and Bryden's has been historically one of their better hitters.
Gets a little bit of that, not enough to keep it fair. Gibson faces Bryden as his first test. If you're Gibson, you're facing off with Bryden as your first opponent, are you thinking, okay, I got my work cut out for me, or is this how you want to ease yourself into the game?
I think anyone on this Sooke Loggers lineup is going to be a tough out. I think what he wants to focus on is throwing strikes. That's what's got him on this team. As soon as you start walking guys, you're running into trouble.
And the trouble has begun.
Yeah, not a good start for the Kiwi pitcher.
Puts Bryden on base. He'll be happy with that, and up comes Ben Edgingston, excuse me.
Yeah, Loggers are going through the bottom of their lineup right now, so it wouldn't be their best batters, but at the same time they can get the job done. So again, it'll be interesting to see the strategy here Coach John Bishop plays. Down 2 runs.
They'll pop that one up, falls for the out at first, but it does advance Bryden to second.
Wait, Benny, get him over.
Saw something that he liked in that pitch, did Edgingston.
Yeah, just bounded it off the plate there. Second baseman was able to make the play. Yeah, off the bat, I thought maybe it was going to make it over the second baseman's head, but not quite. He was able to gobble it up and make the play over first base.
This will bring up Trevor Geekus. He stares that one down for strike 1. So there are those strikes that Gibson needs to be throwing.
Yeah, it's good for him working ahead in the count here. Trevor's got a bit of pop in his bat, so it'll be nice to see him get into a good pitch here.
Outside. A little hop from the catcher was the cue from our end. I don't know if Geekus heard that or not, but he keeps his swing back.
Looks like Gibson's having a little problems with the rubber there. It's been the second game of the doubleheader. 4 other pitchers have pitched on there today, so he's trying to find his groove.
Outside again, ball 2. Geekus happy to stare this down. You can hear the advice coming from the dugout. Just wait for your pitch. Solid advice at this point.
Yeah, he should get a good pitch to hit here, 2-1. Good hitter's pitch.
That one will go low and wide. Swings at it for a strike. But it does advance Bryden to third, and now the Loggers runner. One good sack play away. Sacrifice fly, squeeze bunt, whatever you've got. With only 1 out, bottom of the 5th, we could see the Loggers finally get on the board here.
Yeah, drop ball just came up a bit short there. Tough play for the catcher, and it just scooted over to the side of the dugout.
Bryden definitely had half a mind to go there. He made no mistake on his run, and Gigas will strike out there. 2 away. Gibson finds his form. That brings us to the bottom of the order. Darcy Walushka.
I think Darcy just wants to get his brother up, who's on deck here. Turn the lineup over to the top to Chris.
Strike 1. Even if he can somehow get a walk, if he can outweight Gibson, put runners on the corners for his brother Chris, suddenly you have an incredibly dangerous end of the 5th. Get the tip off of that one. 0-2 now behind the count after 2 pitches.
Yeah, tough pull to be in here for Walushka, but I think he just has to look for his pitch, to continue to be selective, and make sure he's swinging at strikes.
Gibson oblige him with one. It's high. Ball 1.
Bryden getting a good jump over that third base. We've seen a few balls in the dirt already from Campbell, so Bryden looking to capitalize if that happens again.
Checks his swing. Wide ball 2. 2-2 the count. That close to almost coming around.
Yeah, good battle here from Darcy Walushka. He's been able to work it back to 2-2.
Come on now. Good.
Checked again and low. In comes Bryden, and he'll cross the plate. Loggers are on the board.
Yeah, just like we talked about, that drop ball just got away from him. And can't blame the catcher, wasn't able to make the play.
Unforced error. Bryden capitalizes. That jump off at third base, we saw that coming. And here it is. Low and inside. Yeah, he's already going. Bryden had one thing on his mind, that was I am stealing home. Meanwhile, ball 4 thrown. And now Walushka is on base for his brother Chris to come up.
And Darcy's got some wheels too, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the Sooke Loggers put Darcy Walushka in motion. You're at the top of the order, so if he gets thrown out, you've got Chris leading off. So it'll be interesting to see what Coach John Bishop does here.
Only down by 1 now. Strike 1.
It's okay, Kai. I was there from
Darcy thought about it. Gibson prepares for the 0-1 pitch.
Come on, Wally Bird! Come on, Wally! No.
Strike 2 called. We just stared down 2 good strikes here. A little too patient, perhaps.
Yeah, second strike, little up, little out. Right borderline pitch, but definitely close enough to not swing on it.
That one is outside. 1-2. Chris Walushka at the bats. Darcy Walushka on first. 2 out, bottom of the 5th. Sooke down by a run. Bryden runs in after a wild pitch. And this time fouled out by Chris Walushka.
Another good battle here from Walushka. Quality at bats. Used to hitting at the top of the order in the leadoff position. So likes to see a lot of pitches.
Gibson is giving them to him.
Come on, Wally!
Takes a moment here.
It looked like the catcher had a bit of dust in his eye there. Just wanted to clear it up.
Everyone resets. Take a breather, shake it off.
Hey, shoot something. Shoot something somewhere, boy.
And can Gibson end this inning? He can. Strike 3 as Chris Walushka swings and misses on a high riser.
Yeah, inning started off with a walk to Bryden. That's kind of set the table for the Loggers. And the ball right off the plate. Move the runner around. We get another look at it there.
Bryden did well. Took advantage of every little inch he was given to move forward. Got to third, waited for the wild pitch, And across home comes Bryden. Plenty of jump, plenty of lead.
Great shot there from our Shaw cameraman.
I believe that's Nolan over there. Thumbs up, buddy. It is Barkman on the mound still for the Loggers. Bunt shown. Strike one.
Yeah, we're at the top of the sixth now, and it's 2-1. I think the Loggers, going into these two games, tied after 7 and down 1 run, have really put in a good showing regardless of the outcome of both of these.
As we've said a few times throughout the day here, Jesse, it's a club team against a country's national team. And for any club team to put up this kind of showing, they got to give themselves a, it's not a full pat on the back, at least a half one at least for putting up this strong a fight. They have not made it easy.
Absolutely. Loggers have played really well. Good pitching from Tyson Barkman, Scott Life, and then defense.
Grabbed at third. Speaking of that defense, there's your first out. Great grab at third by Bryden.
Bryden, probably see a replay here, but Bryden is pretty tall guy to start with, and he's able to get up and elevate to make that play. The Sooke Loggers defense has been on the ball all day, right on par with the New Zealand team.
That was Wayne Lolo coming in as a pinch hitter for that, number 29. Sparkman throws ball 1 for the second batter, Thomas Inoka. That was Lolu pinch hitting for Nathan Nukunuku. There's the bunch shown. Will he get there? Throw is safe. That was a solid bunt there from Inoka. Great wheels to beat out that throw from Barkman.
Yeah, Tyson fields his position very well, but there's not much he could do with that bunt. Just in a perfect place. Barkman picked the ball, fired it, but just not in time, and Inoka was able to beat it out.
Not by much, but enough. And he's on base. Inoka on first. That'll bring up Cole Evans.
And he showed bunt again. This Black Sox team really just willing to do anything to get on base. Not a lot of offense today from the Black Sox. Speaks to the pitching from the Loggers today.
Safe to say, Jesse, they've earned the respect that their opponents have, the Loggers?
Absolutely, I'd say so.
Good work, good work.
I got Chad, good hustle.
Off that play, we'll move Inoka to second.
Good pair here.
They will get the out on Evans at first.
Boy, Tice, good bounce.
Barkman's had to be sharp in this batting, or all these bunts are getting him off his mound in a hurry.
Yeah, Tyson would be one of the better good athlete, Tyson Barkman. As you can see here, he's able to get off the mount quickly, make the play, and he'd be one of the better athletes in the hill.
Grab that little side dish. Casual as you like. 2 away. Golan up now. Carl Golan. It's a pitcher. He can hit. Playing his designated player in this lineup. Cranks that one. Gets through Barkman. Misplays it. Runner goes to third. Inoka thinks. Checks back. And the Black Sox have runners on the corners with 2 out.
Yeah, tough play there for Barkman. Wasn't able to come up with that. Just off his glove.
Golan getting it done both sides here. It's a tough one to get to for sure. You can see Barkman tries to get there, overextends.
Come on, Tice, come on, Tice.
And now he's left to deal with Isaac Fletcher. The runner in scoring position. Strike 1. Inoka is taking no small lead off here. Do you think he's going to follow Bryden's lead here? He sees a wild pitch. He's in for the third run for the Kiwis.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a big base to get over to third base. makes you 60 feet closer to scoring the run. With Tyson throwing a lot of drop balls, a lot of balls in the dirt. So Cowick's going to have his hands full.
That one is low, but it stays out of the dirt. Wide, though, for ball 1. All eyes go to third base where Anoka is. Safe to say they see him there. They know what's waiting.
Yeah, this is a big at-bat in the game here for Barkman to try to work himself through this.
Come on, kid.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Fletcher going for power there. Couldn't find it.
Who's the big kid doing the talking?
He's got the count in his favor. 2 out. Runners on the corners, excuse me.
I think you'll see probably a drop ball here from Tyson.
And there it is. You call that strike or foul?
No, it's 3 out. You got to throw it.
They do call it the out, just to make sure they throw it to first. Just to be absolutely certain. And that's that. Barkman does get himself out rather awkwardly. Whether it was a strike or an out at first doesn't matter. Inning ends.
Yeah, a little confusion at the end there. Third out, going to make the play and throw him out. I think the New Zealand batter maybe thought that he had foul-tipped that. But yeah, inning started with great play from Chad Bryden at third base. The throw over to Blake Hunter to retired first batter. Here's another great angle from our great Shaw cameraman. And then we saw this
textbook bunt. Anoka, well done.
Yeah, Tyson Barkman was busy. Not only pitching, but 3 plays that inning.
Listen, it was the third one, unfortunately, that caused the most consternation. As we see here, just see overextends here. Can't come up with it. And he's got good teammates scrambling around him.
Yeah, we're able to get out the inning here. And here's the pitch they thought was a tip. Doesn't look like it on the replay. And then eventually Cowick throws the ball down to first and retires the side.
Bottom of the 6th, Campbell Gibson on the mound for the Black Sox. For the Loggers, Todd Belton at the plate. Sooke Loggers down by 1.
Yeah, Todd's had a tough day at the plate today. I think he's up there gripping the bat pretty hard. I think he's just looking to get on base here for the Loggers because they got the meat of their order coming through.
I would agree with that. Belton has been good defensively, though. He's done some excellent work at short. Can't fault him there at all.
Absolutely. Todd's known for being one of the better defensive players around. And he's also a very good hitter. But, of course, he's facing the world-class pitching from New Zealand today, which is giving him a bit of a fit.
Counts even, though, 1-1. Second pitch well wide. And he watches that one go for ball 2.
Yeah, good consistency on that outside corner. Todd knew where the zone was and wasn't going to chase it.
We've seen a lot of this today as Belton, has he learned. Inside, ball 3. Now this might be the first time Belton's been ahead in the count all afternoon.
Yeah, good hitting pitch coming up here, 3-1. May see Todd take a pitch here, force the pitcher to pitch him 2 strikes. But time will tell.
And it will be a strike. Catches that corner, does Gibson. So there's that first one.
A bit of a tough call there. Ball looked to be a little outside, a little down. You can see by the replay here. Yeah, it looks to be a little outside, but again, squares up the count. We'll see what Todd can do here.
Full count. Gibson versus Belton. Belton swings and he's gone. Strike 3, and Belton is retired.
Hey, Hunter.
Gibson did well to change up there from the drop ball to the rise. Had Belton chasing. 1 away.
Yeah, this could be Blake Hunter's last opportunity to face the Kiwis today, so I'm sure Blake will be anxious to see some good pitches here.
Batting 3rd in the order. It's shown ball 1.
We saw him early in the broadcast in the first game put the ball over the left field fence. Sure, he'd like nothing better to do that again here to tie up the game.
Did that in extra innings, no less. Just to really make this a pulse pounder. Gets a Good contact on that one. Can't keep it fair. Fields it right to the cameraman. So Hunter's clearly going for, like you said there, Jesse, he wants to see another one sailing over the wall here. Over the fence if he can't. This time he sends it down. That'll be fair. Into deep left field. He'll get a single out of it, and he's on base.
Yeah, Blake Hunter's had a good day at the plate these last 2 games. I think one of the reasons why Team Canada picked him up is for his bat. Known as an offensive threat.
Certainly shown it this afternoon, and now he's on base. Tying run on base. As he gets all of this.
A great play in the corner, too, to keep Hunter to 1 base.
Gibson sends in ball 1 against Kyle Cowick, the catcher. With 1 away, does Hunter look to steal here, or does he just look to stay on base?
No, I think he'll just be staying put. We're in the power part of the Sooke Loggers lineup. You don't want to run into an out here.
Cowick swings for strike 1.
Come on, Cowick.
Probably the best opportunity for the Loggers to tie it up is going to be in this inning. So they're coming right through the middle of their order, and as we do get in the 7th, they're likely going to be at the bottom of their order.
Cowick swings well away. Strike 2.
Yeah, Gibson's been mixing that drop ball in. Pretty predominantly drop ball pitcher. Seen him mixing the change and the rise ball.
1-2 pitch coming up. They get the 3, strike 3. Cowick goes down swinging. 2 away. Hunter still on first. This will bring up Tim Skaber. And here we see the swing and the miss from Cowick. Looks like they've actually changed up their hitter. Your pinch hitter coming in, number 29, Drew Heidenreich.
Yeah, we saw Drew play the first game for the Loggers. Been sitting here waiting for the opportunity to play. Drew's from Sooke. A lot of these ball players are actually in Sooke. Played with his brother, and his dad coached him through the years.
He gets contact, straight to short, and there's the second. Force at second is enough for the 3rd out, and so ends the side. Side retired down by a run as we head to the top of the 7th. It's now or never if you're the Loggers, but first they have to get through the Black Sox hitters. So Belton once again trying to get on base, just couldn't do it. Hunter was able to, ripping that one into left field.
Great angle there, seeing Blake square the ball right up and drive the ball down the line for a single.
Good throw from left field as well. Unfortunately, Cowick chasing after that drop ball.
Yeah, steady dose of drop balls from Campbell.
And then the double play.
So it looks like Tyson Barkman's going to go the distance for the Loggers. We did see their 3rd pitcher, Aaron Emery, warming up earlier in the game. But looks like Tyson, if all goes well, is going to finish off the game here for the Loggers.
He's put in a fairly competent 7 innings. I don't think you can really fault him beyond the 2 runs that have come in.
Yeah, Tyson's had a good game, again, relying on that drop ball. He's got a lot of ground balls. Loggers' defense has been really good, sucking up those ground balls.
Loggers have shown their defensive bona fides today. As one is ripped foul. No, it's going to stay fair. And ground rule double. Not a bad start to the inning for Callum Campaign. He's back on base.
Try, Hans.
And he's had a good game. He was the backup catcher for this backup catcher for the Black Sox squad and hitting the ball a ton. Just past Hunter down the first base line. Ball was fair, no complaints from him. The Black Sox up 1 run here. Again, interesting to see where the strategy is if they move the runner over.
Chance to really pad that lead before the Loggers get their last at-bat.
And that would be a big run for the New Zealand Black Sox. And he did show bunt, so looks like the skipper, Mark Sorensen's got the bunt signal on. See if he keeps it on or not.
Tyron Bartorillo here. Advancing the runner to third with no outs would be ideal. There's the bunt. Can't connect. Corwick holds Campaign at second.
Yeah, maybe a foul tip there.
Maybe.
Into the glove from Cowick.
Just ever so slight. This time there's the bunt, throw to first. There's the out. Campaign moves to third. One out, top of the seventh. As predicted, they push the runner along.
Yeah, this New Zealand Black Sox squad, as you can see here, really have the good fundamentals. I think it's the third or fourth sack bump we've seen in the 2 games today to move that runner over.
I think that is the fourth, right? There was 2 textbook ones laid down by Dave Ronan in the first game. That would be the second one of this one. For a grand total of 4.
They'll just need to make it count. Black Sox need a big hit here.
Up by 1, they could pad that noticeably. And that one will be popped up deep. Deep to left, it's gone. Off the flagpole, stays in. It'll be a triple. Off the Canadian flag and stays in.
Well, I've seen a lot of games here before, but I've never seen a ball hit that flagpole before.
Well played.
Jeff Bates just told me he hit it a couple times. Many years ago, though, Jeff.
Regardless, it turns what would have been a 2-run shot into 1, though it does leave a runner at third, a triple. Stellar work there from Campbell Inoka. He cranks this thing back.
Takes a lot to get the ball out of this park, and not quite enough as the ball's off the top of the fence.
Out at first, but it does push in Inoka. 4-1 now. 2 away. As another sacrifice comes through.
I think we might have had the squeeze play on there.
That was
Looking forward to seeing the replay here. I couldn't tell if he was running on the pitch or if it was on contact. He was able to get the bunt down and score the run across.
2 out, 2 runs scored. Solid inning here for the Black Sox. And he does indeed get the bunt down. Great squeeze. Takes out the Cowick. Wild pitch. No runners on the bases.
That's 2 big runs for the Black Sox here. Going to be a tough pill to crack here for the Loggers when we get into the bottom of the 7th.
And here he comes. And there he is, slides in.
Yeah, that's some old school fastball. You don't see that very often with a squeeze play, but executed perfectly from the Black Sox.
It's that one, grounds to second. That'll be the inning. Black Sox double their score at the best possible time. They're up by 3 as we approach the bottom of the 7th. Take a look at the highlights here. And this is how the New Zealand men's national team doubled their score. Started off with just getting on base. Campaign did it again. Another double, ground rule double. Little bunt to advance the runner.
Yeah, great execution.
Then Inoka with this bomb off the flag. Looked for all the world that it was gone, but not for the red and white maple leaf directly above them. And it turns into a triple for Inoka. He would eventually score while he was denied the prestige of the home run, the squeeze play, the classic squeeze play. Sees Inoka come home and make it 4-1. Nothing they could have done there. Home and free. And now the Loggers, 2-1 is not the most impossible scoreline to come back from. 4-1 in the bottom of the 7th, though. This just became a monumental task for them.
Yeah, very similar to the first game we watched where they took a 3-1 lead into extra innings. But as you can see, the Loggers clawed back to get 2. Let's see if they can do it again here to get back into the game.
Gibson sends one high off the umpire. He looks like he's all right. That's why you always wear your mask, kids. Always wear your mask.
Oh. Yeah, taken right off the mask. And these days with the concussions, you just never know. So good to see the catcher get at least a piece of that.
A swing on that for strike 1. Bryden swings on that one.
Campbell's up in the count now, 1-2. Chad worked a walk last time he was up, which was the first batter that Campbell faced. Probably a steady dose of drop balls here from Campbell. That's what we've seen as he's come in the game.
Campbell Gibson has done a very good job in relief here. Sends that drop ball in. Not his best, though. Evens up the count at 2-2.
Yeah, key for the Loggers is Bryden to get on base.
And he does indeed stare that one down, full count.
Chad worked it to a full count last time against Campbell and drew the walk. My money's on another drop ball here from Campbell.
There it is. This time he gets some contact on it, but sends it straight to second. 1 out. Easy fielding there by Joel Evans.
And thing is, if we're playing at South Hill, those happen, those are base hits because they're 25 feet in the
And he saw something he liked there, just couldn't get it through the gap.
Yeah, good at bat there from Chad Bryden. Just couldn't pull the trigger and get it through the infield. Again, this New Zealand squad played flawless defense these first 2 games of their 4-game series against the Loggers.
And Gibson throws a strike right away to Ben Edgingston.
Come on, Benny.
Edgingston's had an up and down game. Sure, he'd love to make amends here. Bottom of the 7th. 1-1.
He's just nibbling on that corner with the drop ball. I think we'll see nothing but drop balls mixing with the occasional rise for the rest of the game. Just trying to keep the ball on the ground. Let the Black Sox defense make the plays.
He'll strike that one. Falls to short, 2 away.
I think as we head to the end of the game here, I think the Loggers can take away from this that they've hung in there with one of the best teams in the world.
Absolutely.
Coming into the game, I think everyone knew we'd have a tight game, but I didn't think people would think it would be this tight. Some solid pitching performances from Scott Life and Tyson Barkman.
And now with 2 away, bottom of the 7th, to try and extend the game. Is it Trevor Geekus?
Yeah,
it is.
Trevor.
He dings it back. Fouls for strike 1.
Yeah, good opportunity for a guy like Trevor. Hasn't played a lot of ball at this level.
Mm-hmm.
But good to see him out here with the Loggers and getting some swings in against this top quality pitching.
He will get few greater chances to get a world caliber opposition. And that is a ball. 1-1.
Come on, 7. Come on, Trev.
Swing and a miss for strike 2. Another drop ball. Like you said, Jesse Gibson's just throwing those with aplomb.
Come on, 7.
Yeah, he's looking to close out the game here for the New Zealand Black Sox.
And he just keeps himself alive. Down 1-2 in the count. 2 out. Bottom of the 7th. Black Sox up by 3. Campbell Gibson with his 1-2 pitch.
Come on, Trev. Come Come on, Trev.
And he does. There's your strike three. Trevor Gigas swings for strike three, and that's the game. The New Zealand Black Sox take game 2 of the doubleheader, 4-1.
Great showing here by both clubs. Exemplary fast pitch. Good to see that both teams here shaking hands at the end of the game. I think a lot of mutual respect amongst these players.
Certainly, Sooke Loggers, if they hadn't already earned the respect of their opponents before, they certainly have after 2 excellently fought contests. I mean, you take a New Zealand national team to extra innings in the first game, you've already proven your bona fides, and then to show as good opposition as they did, close this game out. I think, as you said, the Loggers can hold their heads high here.
Yeah, he didn't get started off with that ground ball by Bryden. Just couldn't quite get it through.
The bats were out, trying to find just that little seam, but they were to be denied.
Yeah, that drop ball for Campbell produced a lot of ground balls as he entered the game. And he finished off the game with a strikeout of Geikus.
Knew what he needed to do. Get him swinging with a riser just to shake everything up. And that's the ball game. For Jesse Honkinen, my name is Roturo. You've been watching Shaw TV Sports presentation of the New Zealand men's national fastball team against the Sooke Loggers. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have a great evening.